Welcome to Downtown, brought to you by Arlington Citizen Media. I am Rudy John, and on this episode of the Downtown, we talk to team president of your PBR team's world champions, the Texas Rattlers. We talk to Chad Blakenship. We talk to him all about how the Rattlers kick off their return home. That's right, this Thursday in Fort Worth. You are definitely going to want to check it out. There's so much going on with not only the Rattlers, but there's also a festival going on. We'll get into all that in a second. But also, you get to hear local music from Alex Hunter and Joseph Fisher-Schram with their song Gerba's Tune. But first, here is Brandon McLaughlin with Broken Man's Blues.
You're like cheap cocaine on a whiskey high, doing what I gotta do just to get by. Got bills coming in, money going out. I got -$3 in my bank account. It ain't nearly enough, it ain't nothing new, 'cause it's too damn expensive keeping up with you, Lord. This material things and the fanciest wine, I try my very best to make my baby smile. Working all day, I got holes in my shoes. It's a hard time living with some broke man's blues.
I would like to welcome to the show Chad Blakenship. He is the team president for your reigning PBR team's world champions, the Texas Rattlers. How are you doing today, sir?
Doing well, John.
So the Texas Rattlers are returning home this weekend to take on not only the Oklahoma Wildcatters on the 26th, a rematch of the championship, taking on the Austin Gamblers on the 27th, and then finishing the weekend with the Nashville Stampede on the 28th. What are you most looking forward to this weekend?
Oh, my goodness. Well, a few things. One, welcoming tens of thousands of Texas Rattlers fans,
Yes.
new and old, to the events all weekend long. Of course, we've got 3 action-packed nights of bull riding. Also, just a real huge fan festival that happens in the historic Fort Worth Stockyards. We can talk a little bit more about that. But, you know, one of the distinctions you mentioned, of course, that we're the reigning, defending PBR Team Series champions. In addition, we are the only team in the history of the PBR Team Series who remains undefeated on home dirt. And so we will be looking to continue that achievement this weekend by winning all 3 and sweeping the weekend.
That's I mean, how incredible is that you are the only ones to be undefeated at home? I mean, you know, obviously the fans help out quite a bit, but you know, you guys are the ones doing the work. So how does that feel, just knowing that, you know, no one could touch us at home?
It's true. Yeah. Our team riders who do the work that you mentioned, they're just, you know, they're the best. They're clearly one of the best teams in the league. I think it speaks to a couple things, John. First of all, it's actually bull riding is extremely difficult.
Yes.
And even for a team that's really good, it's difficult to win all the time. And frankly, we see that across all team sports, right? Across individual sports as well. Consistently being the best is really, really difficult. And I think, a lot of things have to go your way. You also got to make your luck, I think, and be ready for it and have a winning mindset. But it's hard. Sports are hard. It's part of what I think makes them really compelling as a fan.
Yes. Well, I mean, speaking of that, we have the rivalries, and not only are y'all taking on the Austin Gamblers in a rematch from last year, but you're also having the last iteration of the Texas Cup for the season. What has this rivalry been for y'all like? Because here in Texas, it's a rivalry, but it's maybe a little brother rivalry, but at the same time, it's still a rivalry going on throughout the state.
It really is. I mean, I want to say that we have deep respect for our in-state rival. I prefer to refer to them as the ugly green team from the South. They are a class organization. They're well run. They have many of the best, bull riders in the league on their team, as do we. And I think that the in-state rivalry is just a natural. But then what's happened over the past 2.5 seasons, I think, has been really exciting for the fans, because we emerged in season 1. In the regular season, the Austin Gamblers were ranked 1. We were ranked 2. And our team, made a good run. We finished 3rd in season 1. In season 2, we also, once again, emerged as 2 of the strongest squads. And as you noted, we in fact met in the championship game. I think the rivalry was already real, but it became even more real, for the riders and our fans last year. And then this year, also, as you mentioned, we play one another in the regular season 3 times. And so we're 1-1 against one another. So Friday night, for fans, who come out, they very much can pick sides. We hope they pick the hometown area Texas Rattlers and cheer us on to a victory in the Texas Cup, as we call it.
Yes, I love that so much. I mean, you need rivalry when it comes to sports. You need a reason, that extra motivation, if you will, to go out, work even harder, and then prove something. Especially at home, nobody wants to lose at home. And as y'all said, you guys don't lose at home.
Yeah, and it's one of the things I think too, John, that's made this team format bull riding so compelling for fans. You're aware, and many of your listeners will be aware, bull riding's been around for 100+ years, since 2 guys were sitting on a fence and dared each other, who can stay on that bull over there the longest. Pretty organic roots to this sport. And PBR, has been thriving for the past 35 years with tours operating in Australia and Brazil and Canada and the United States and Mexico. And then this new PBR team series launched, 2.5 years ago. We're toward the end of the 3rd season now. And I think part of what makes the team format really fun is rivalry. Of course, there's rivalry between individual athletes, Federer and Nadal, and Djokovic. It occurs in individual sports. And we've seen that, in PBR. Every few years, there'll be a couple of guys who emerge and make a run against one another for the world championship, and it can make it exciting. But I think in team sports, that rivalry feeling, is even more pronounced. Right now in the league, every team plays every other team at least 3 times, sometimes 4 times in a season, depending on the schedule. And so it really puts the building blocks in place for us to build that rivalry, and it makes it fun for fans.
Yeah. Oh, without a doubt. I mean, it gives that extra bit of, you go in and, you might see somebody with a Gambler's shirt on and be like, hey, not tonight. And then after everything's all said and done, afterwards, you shake hands, maybe buy each other a beer and enjoy life.
Yeah, there's a funny little anecdote. We were playing the Arizona Ridge Riders last season in their home arena. And similar to many other team sports, the head coach has an opportunity to challenge a call on the field and ask for a replay. You get one challenge per game, and if you win, you keep it, and if you lose, the challenge goes away. So last year, we challenged a ride, whether it was a qualified ride or not, for one of the Ridge Rider athletes, which I believe would have clinched the game. And sure enough, he did not make the 8-second whistle. And so they took his score off the board. And, the entire arena boos my coach. And so my coach, in the moment tips his hat to the fans, and everybody sees it and starts booing more loudly. Well, then, the event ends an hour later, and our coach and our team are walking to the hotel, which is a short walk right across the street from the arena. And he's thinking to himself, oh my gosh, I tipped my hat and slightly taunted the fan base, and now I've got to walk through them to get home, but Western sports fans and PBR fans, more specifically, are a certain kind of breed. And so, of course, when they did leave the arena, having booed my coach and my team, they're stopping our guys and asking for autographs and complimenting us on the wins. And so I think that speaks to a few things. It speaks to the class and the respect, of PBR fans. I also think it speaks to your comment that it's just, sports are fun. I mean, this is entertainment. It's fun. The athletic achievement, the grit and determination that it requires are very real. And also it's fun. So
yeah, this isn't Philadelphia where you go up there and, you might get murdered afterwards or something.
No. Yes.
Now, I mean, so we talked about how much of the team sport this is, but then there are rivalries between individuals. As much as this is, the third season you're trying to wrap up, you were talked about, how is the camaraderie between the guys, because of the fact that this was just a singles kind of sport for the longest time, and now 3 seasons in, we all actually have great teamwork and, camaraderie. Can you speak on how great it is backstage and in the locker rooms?
Yeah, I think with most teams and for most athletes, John, they've found it to be really appealing. I mean, they speak about things like, now they sort of have a purpose in bull riding that's even bigger than themselves. I think they had that before in terms of providing for their families, right? But now this teamwork and this camaraderie are really strong for them, and they're motivating. One of the other factors is that there's coaching involved. Many of the top bull riders in the world will, of their own volition, hire sports trainers to help them with their conditioning. But very, very few have anything that we might characterize as coaching in terms of their, development team when they're individual athletes. But in the team series, every team in the league actually has a head coach and an assistant coach. I believe every team in the league also has athletic training, sports training. Some teams have sports psychology. We offer our guys sports nutrition. And so I think what we're seeing happening also, even just in the statistics and the numbers, is that the guys are starting to ride at a higher percentage. Most guys, not every, but most guys in the league are finding that they're riding in a higher percentage level too. And I think it's all these things that I just, mentioned combined. One of the other aspects that's really unique about team bull riding is that the bulls are randomly drawn in sets of 5 to the team, and then the coach makes the decision on which rider's going to get on which bull. So the basic format of the team series is that it's a 5-on-5 game. So tonight, the Texas Rattlers are playing the Austin Gamblers. Tomorrow, the Texas Rattlers are playing the Oklahoma Wildcatters, and the Austin Gamblers play, the Carolina Cowboys, et cetera. This kind of round robin game structure for the season. And so I think the other big factor in higher riding percentages is that the coaches, get these pens of 5 bulls and then make a decision, what bull does John match up best with, to try to maximize the score. Of course, a team wins based on the highest ride score across 5 attempts.
Right. No, I love that so much. That's amazing. And I mean, I believe you guys actually have a performance center in Colorado too, didn't you?
The league does, yes.
Yeah.
PBR does. It's offered to all Western sports athletes actually,
Nice.
For free, so they can come in and train. And I think guys have improved their performance there. And then there's a facility not PBR related here in the greater DFW area that a lot of athletes choose to go to as well.
That's awesome. Now, I mean, we kind of touched on it earlier, but this weekend also is not just about, the bull riding. It is also about the fan fest that is happening. There's something literally for everybody. Starting on Thursday, there's the championship Thursday. There's also a rattle battle rattlesnake cook-off, which is hosted by Tim Love. Tim Love is no, stranger to the DFW area, especially Fort Worth. And there's also a charity pancake dinner or breakfast, sorry, that is happening on Saturday morning, and proceeds of that go to the Future Farmers of America chapters of the Arlington Heights and Arlington High School youth programs. How amazing is it that not only is there people coming just to watch you guys ride the bulls, but also celebrate everything that is the Western culture and everything that's happening around you?
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, Fort Worth is the cowboy capital of the world.
Yeah.
There's no place on earth quite like the historic Fort Worth stockyards. We benefit greatly from that as the hometown team in Fort Worth and Dallas Fort Worth, and a lot of the programming that we have over the weekend to complement the bull riding is really about giving back to our fans and creating, as you said, opportunities to celebrate Western lifestyle. So yeah, Thursday I think we do, this is one of the more unique culinary festivals, not just locally, but nationally. We actually cook our mascot. So 16 of the best chefs in Fort Worth who've been curated and invited by Chef Tim Love will come and participate. It's, many of the best chefs. It's established chefs like John Bonnell, and Don Artemio chefs, and then up and coming chefs like Christian Lerman, over at Tiny's and other terrific restaurants in town. So 16 of the best chefs are going to be competing for cash and prizes for them. This is in Mule Alley on Thursday. It's from 5 to 7 p.m. That is an additional ticketed event. It's all you can sample and with open bar. And then we'll migrate fans from that VIP kickoff party right into Cowtown Coliseum, which is night one of the bull riding performance. And then our fan festival, which Thursday will launch earlier in the day, continues through Friday and Saturday. This is all free. There are kids activities, family activities. We'll have autograph signings, sponsor activations. Monster Energy's got a really cool display where folks can come down and get a free barbered haircut. So that'll be fun. And then Saturday morning, you mentioned one of two significant things that are happening. The first is, it's important to us to give back to the community, particularly young people. Helping support and develop, leadership skills in agriculture is something that's really close to our heart. And so, as you mentioned, we're going to have a donation-based FFA charity pancake breakfast on Saturday morning. It'll be from 9 a.m. to noon, and we'll be cooking pancakes and bacon. This is on the dirt at Cowtown Coliseum, so kind of a fun way to get in a rodeo arena, when it's not operating as a rodeo. Yeah. The Navy will be doing a swearing-in ceremony for new recruits, which also will be a special aspect that morning. And then the pancake breakfast rolls right into the Rattler Days Stockyards Parade, which is also, of course, free to the family. Our riders will be there. Riders from other teams will participate as well. So that's from 11:30 to noon on Saturday. The herd walks. The Fort Worth Longhorn herd will walk, and then and they're kind of the lead in the parade. And then autograph signings at the area brand store and other activities. So yeah, really a lot of fun for the family. We'll have a college football tailgate happening on Saturday on the livestock exchange lawn right there in the stockyards, and then we'll do watch parties as well Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We're moving very swiftly toward sellouts for the bull riding on Thursday and Saturday night. That's amazing. So one of the things we're going to do is have our Jumbotron active in the evenings. So for fans who don't get tickets on one of those two nights, they can come out and enjoy a watch party and cheer on the Texas Rattlers.
You guys got overflow. That's amazing. I love that.
We do.
Yeah.
It's going to be a really fun weekend, and the weather looks fantastic, which is great. Yeah. Which is great. We have a 10-degree reprieve that I think we're all really, really happy for.
Oh yeah, last weekend would not have been fun considering how very warm it was. But no, this weekend's going to be absolutely perfect for this, and I love it. But we did talk about rattlesnake. What is your favorite way of eating rattlesnake?
Oh my gosh. Well, one of the things about rattlesnake is it's one of these meats that will really take on the flavor of whatever's around it. It doesn't have, for those who haven't tasted rattlesnake, I wouldn't characterize it as a pungent or really strong tasting meat. And so I think it makes it fun for some of the chefs to prepare because they're just able to kind of put together, a dish around it. Last year, this isn't a direct answer to your question, but last year, for sure, the fan favorite dish, and which also ended up being the winning dish with the judges as well, was a rattlesnake ravioli that was just delicious. The head chef, actually at Dickey's Arena, our home venue, beat all the other chefs that participated last year. So that was it was really delicious. It created a lot of buzz throughout the festival where everyone was saying, "Did you try the ravioli? Did you try the ravioli?" And then lo and behold, it won. So it's fun. The voting format, actually, for folks who come and buy a ticket and enjoy all these bites, they get a voting token. And so of the 16 chefs, the top 3 fan vote getters will make the finals, and then the judges will judge those top 3 and rank them and award the trophies. So the trophy, by the way, is a 3-foot tall rattlesnake statue.
Whoa.
Which is pretty cool and quite unique.
Yeah. I mean, you put that in your home, people are going to want to know how you got that or where it even came from. So, and that, telling the story of how, well, I cooked this amazing rattlesnake and it won. So 3 foot tall, that's amazing.
Last year there were 1 or 2 dishes that we could characterize as kind of an Asian spice style rattlesnake. The ravioli won. There was a grilled rattlesnake. There was some barbecue flavors. Just really, it ran the gamut. It was so fun to see the chef's creativity.
Yeah. I mean, they're artists. So at the end of the day, if they're going to create something amazing and you get to eat it.
That's right.
Now, not only did the team win the championship last year, but you won for Executive of the Year with the PBR. What did that feel like, first off? And then also, you kind of also maybe won because not only you guys won the championship, but you signed the free agent when it came to Trace Red, and then, a late season trade with Eli Vastbender. First off, congratulations. And also, how did it feel to, have such success in, this year or this past year?
Yeah, it was really humbling. The accolade was really humbling, and I think while I appreciate it and certainly take some credit for it with humility, I really feel that an award like that is a reflection of just the overall class of our organization. We have a terrific front office. I consider it the best in the league. We have an excellent coaching staff, and obviously on the dirt, our riders, supported by our coaches, won the championship. And so I think those are all contributing factors. But it's definitely humbling. One of the fun aspects of this job, I have a history in sports, but more on the media side. Yeah. This is the first time, and the league side actually worked and contributed in a leadership position for about 8 years at PBR before we launched the team series, and then was invited to head up the Texas Rattlers. But this is the first team side, job for me. And so one of the more rewarding aspects has been the player personnel, part of it. And as you said, the trades that are involved, it's interesting. Every team, we hear about this in other sports, and it's become quickly true in the PBR team series as well. Different teams have different programs or different systems, right? Different coaches have different philosophies. And there are, across the 10 teams, there are somewhere between about 125 riders, let's call it, who are on these teams across the league. And they're all fantastic. I mean, these are the best bull riders literally on planet Earth. They come from Australia and Brazil and Canada, Mexico, and all across the United States. They are the cream of the crop bull riders. Some of them work better or produce better results, and have a better experience in certain systems versus others, right? There's some locker rooms that are loose and love to play, rock music to get themselves ginned up for competition. There are others that are, we might describe as more calm and focused, right? And so part of the art of the general manager role is putting together a combination of bull riders that can thrive in that system, that can develop trust with one another, that can trust and respect and really listen to, the coaches, and then achieve great results. And many of the best coaches and general managers in the history of sports will describe that as a process.
Yeah.
That has definitely been true, in my experience. It's a process. Our team, all 3 seasons of the league, has had a history of getting a little bit of a slow start for various reasons. And then, as the season progresses, kind of, I think, coming together and gelling as a team, and then producing better results in the second half of the season and through the championship. That certainly played out the first 2 seasons for our squad, and it seems to be playing out now, as well. We've won 3 of our last 5 games. One of the ones we lost, we rode 3 out of 5 bulls and just got beat by a team that performed better on the day.
Yeah.
Last Friday in Greensboro, North Carolina, our team notched the 5th perfect game in league history.
Wow.
Really difficult and good achievement. A perfect game is riding all 5 bulls in the game. And in fact, that earns a team a spot in what we call the shootout round, the bonus round. And our rider rode in that round and won that round as well. So we went 6 for 6 on the night, which is just stellar. So, to come full circle to your question, it's a humbling experience to have earned, Executive of the Year in the league. And as I said, I think it really just is a testament to the quality of our overall organization, and I'm very grateful for it.
Where do you keep your trophies or plaques or anything? Because some people put them in the bathroom. Some people just love making a shrine of themselves. How do you kind of put those up?
Well, I'll say that I'm lucky enough to actually have 2 of our championship trophies in the bull riding business. That's a belt buckle, as you might guess.
Yeah.
So one of them is presently sitting at my waist, part of my belt setup and holding up my jeans, and then my second one is actually on the side credenza. So
that's beautiful.
Part of what's really fun about these, some of your listeners will have, seen photographs or videos. The team series trophy is a giant belt buckle that's about a foot and change high by almost 2 feet wide.
Yeah.
It weighs almost 20 pounds. It was hand silversmithed by Montana Silversmiths out of Montana, out of Billings. And it's a gorgeous piece of handcrafted hardware. It's about $500,000 trophy with all of its component parts. And so the individual, belt buckle trophies that we win, and our riders and our ownership group and the front office and coaches, et cetera, is, as you would imagine, a replica of the giant belt buckle. So it's particularly special when we get to parade that trophy buckle around town. Of course, we will have it out at Rattler Days, and fans can take pictures of it this weekend. But it's pretty fun to stand next to that trophy and have a mini little version on my belt.
Yeah. You're like, that's the real one, and then this is mine, and that's at the end of the day.
That's right.
Now, as much as we're here to talk about the Rattlers, in my research about you, I noticed that you spent 18 months living and studying abroad, not only in China, Tibet, and Nepal, and Thailand. Can you touch on what you learned in that time, and then how you kind of take it to, today, and like you talking about having to manage a team, and we've heard so much about Phil Jackson and his Zen philosophy and the way he would always study. How much did you learn from that experience, and then kind of take it to what, I guess, in your everyday world too?
Yeah, it's a fantastic question. I'd always really wanted to live abroad, John, and have that experience. It was not something that my parents really supported in college, which was fine. I think they were concerned about my ability to focus, on the educational studies. But I kind of promised myself that at some point in my future, I was going to do that. I just really wanted to be able to experience other cultures with more depth than I envisioned I could do on a typical, 2 or 3 week vacation. So after working professionally for 8 or 9 years, I decided to effectively take a, self-funded sabbatical. I'd saved up money for a while, and decided to go to Asia, in China, which was an incredibly rich and different culture. Once I got over there, I discovered that many Chinese people on the weekends would go to small mountains all over the country and do these hikes where, for a century or more, people maintain like steps cut out of stone into these mountains.
Oh, wow.
And people would take tour buses out there and just spend the day hiking these mountains and soaking in nature and the views. And it just seemed really interesting to me. And so I went out and did a couple of these and found this experience, to be incredibly rewarding. I can tell you for sure, I was the only, 6'2" Caucasian male on these hikes, surrounded, by locals who I think both thought it was odd, were quite surprised by this foreign guy being there, but also really supportive, and energetically kind. And so that was a really enriching experience, I think, to kind of get in touch with nature and also just be alongside another culture as they were doing the same. That outdoor and being in nature to me is to be closer to God, and that certainly transcends culture, right?
It's true.
That's really about the human experience. That led me to Tibet, and I actually hiked to Everest Base Camp, trekked there in Tibet, and then I ended up crossing the border into Nepal and doing it again from the Nepali side. So I've been to base camp, Everest Base Camp, where the big time climbers go. Both of these they're not technical hikes to get there.
Right.
They're challenging for sure. They're not for the faint of heart, but they're reasonably safe, things to do. So that was a terrific experience. And then when I got to Thailand, I ended up through some friends making some connections with some locals, and ended up having a job opportunity to help open a resort on a little boutique resort on an island in southern Thailand. And so I studied Thai and lived in Thailand for about 6 months of the experience. And that was just deeply rewarding, because I was really living alongside, folks in a very different culture, eating insanely spicy fish stew for breakfast with rice, and, just all of it. So, in terms of learning, I think I was going over there in part to discover some things about myself. And I joke with people sometimes that it's interesting. You can put yourself anywhere in the world. And when you're calm, when you find a calm place and a still place, it's still you, and there you are. It's not, when I think about it, it isn't actually that revelatory, because of course it's you, and of course you are wherever you are. But I don't think, in my experience, and certainly through that experience, I learned that it doesn't really matter where I place myself, while the outside environment, can be fresh and new, or a distraction or whatever. I'm still who I am, learning and growing and developing, and having the human struggles that all of us have, from time to time. So yeah, it was enriching.
That's amazing. I love all of that. And I love, it does sound simple that yes, you are still you, no matter where you are, but finding you wherever you are is really the goal, in what people really need to figure out. And as much as the chaos is in everyday life, when it comes to whatever, family, friends, work, traffic jams, riding bulls, whatever it is, at the end of the day, you still need to find that calm and that center, and that you at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I think just part of the human condition, many of us sometimes see the grass, the proverbial grass is greener on the other side. And I guess the point I'm making is that the grass can be green on this side too. It's all just about perspective. It's just as green. It's the same green on both sides.
It just looks different because you're not on that side.
That's right. It's all perspective.
Exactly. Now, if people want to find out more about this upcoming weekend, the Texas Rattlers, buy tickets, how can they do all the things?
Yeah, great question. TexasRattlers.com has all the information for fans on the fan festival and tickets. As I mentioned, we are we are barreling towards sellouts for Thursday and Saturday night. So for your listeners, if either of those nights were the ones that work best, Thursday night is at Cowtown Coliseum. You can hit their website and tickets will still be available probably through tomorrow for that event for tomorrow night. And then Friday and Saturday tickets are available at the Dickies Arena website.
There we go. Chad, thank you so much for your time. I look forward to this weekend. It's going to be so much fun. And, obviously congratulations for everything that's happened this past year. And then, good luck with happening this weekend, continuing that undefeated streak at home.
Thanks so much, Sean. We look forward to seeing you out.
Thank you.
Thank you so much to everyone for being on the show. You just heard Alex Hunter and Joseph Fisher-Schram with their song Gerba's Tune. On top of the show, you heard Brandon McLaughlin with Broke Man's Blues. And thank you again so much to Chad Blakenship, definitely go out and check out the Rattlers this weekend. You are not going to want to miss any of that. So much going on in the city of Arlington. Definitely check us out every Friday for our Find Out Friday for finding out even more information about what's happening with your favorite city, Arlington, Texas. So while you're doing all that fun stuff, make sure to eat local, drink local, and go rediscover your city.
Tag us and send those pictures over to us on Facebook, Arlington Citizen Media, Twitter, ATX Citizen Media. Tag us on Instagram, Arlington Citizen Media, and send those pictures the old-fashioned way. Email arlingtoncitizenmedia@gmail.com. Also go to our website, www.arlingtoncitizenmedia.com. Don't forget to subscribe and give those 5-star reviews of the Downtown at Apple Music, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and also hit us on SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, and YouTube.